Welcome in, everyone. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all on the charts. If you appreciate the content, which everyone should appreciate the content, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, as Oof and Kyle have, and make sure you click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday for this live stream as well. Speaking of which, real quick before I get to the comments, a couple things that I wanted to speak to. Not sure if I'm going to live stream for all on the charts tomorrow because I have a feeling I'm going to be live streaming on Sunday. I'm getting the strong sense that, sorry, I didn't mean to get a flex in there. I'm getting the sense that on Sunday we're going to have a pretty significant weekly close, which means I will be live streaming on Sunday if that's the case for an all on the charts live stream. That's why, guys, you got to click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live. But what I was thinking of doing instead tomorrow was doing the CBG podcast. So either way, I should be with you tomorrow. Not sure of the time, so just make sure you have that bell icon selected for the all notifications. The other thing that I wanted to run by you, real engagement within the comments here, it's impossible for me to hit all of the questions that you're requesting in the live stream while keeping the live stream within a manageable amount of time. I'm really going for that 30 to 35 mark, like I said yesterday. So what I'm going to do for purposes of transparency is questions begin to come into the comments, I'm going to prioritize as follows. First, I'm going to hit up any super chats. I'll make sure to get to any super chats. Secondly, I'm going to scan and peruse and try to get all the comments in order, questions in order to the best of my ability. But I'm also going to sort of jump to the TA questions that maybe charts we haven't looked at in a while or ones that are more thought-provoking. And I'm also going to limit it to one chart per person. Non-super chat, one chart per person. Time permitting, I can get to more than one question per person. But what I'm finding is I'm trying to get to like all the questions, and then the live stream goes like 70 minutes. And so I'm really trying to cut the live stream down to 30 to 35 minutes. So I hope that you're understanding with that and you respect that. So, Kyle, welcome in. You were the first on the live stream. Welcome in, my friend. Oof, always good to see you, my friend. Let's fucking go. Do I like cigars? I do. I do cigars, I would say 1 to 2 times per year. I'm not a cigar aficionado. I don't, like, I can't speak cigars with you, but I do like to smoke them 1 to 2 times per year. I'm struggling to think if I actually had one last year. I'd like to say that I did, but you know what's actually been on my list to do, I shared with you guys. This is my grandfather's pipe, okay? He gave this to me before he passed away. And real quick, I purchased this. I sure hope it's still good. I might have to get some more because it's been sitting here a while. I got this cherry liqueur tobacco. I haven't opened it, so I can't really smell it. I don't want to open it. But this has been on my list to do. I actually want to smoke a pipe. And, it's funny. I've always been looking for something to celebrate, to smoke a cigar, smoke a pipe. I just need to do it one of these evenings. Maybe it'll be this weekend, actually. Maybe I'll do it for the CBG podcast. I don't know. But, yes, I do like cigars. Oof, I can give you an update on that. Jay Kim, good to see you, my friend. Man, I'll take any of the GOAT calls. I don't view myself as the GOAT, but appreciate you for always saying that. The market is pumping like those arms. Yes, I'll save it for the CBG podcast. We'll keep it all TA conversation. I had some thoughts on that, actually. Track, good to see you, my friend. And Jay, what's good? Life, man. Thankful for every single fucking day I got, and I hope you are too. Guys, I'm going to get to Oof's question first on any. Did want to give a quick update on Bitcoin. And like I said, I commented here, drop your questions in because this live stream is 100% dedicated to your questions. So to the extent you have them, drop them. If not, I'll just chart whatever the heck I want to chart. Now, one of the things I had tweeted earlier this morning, if you're following me on X or Twitter at Crypto Bull God, I had tweeted about the 6-hour time frame. You will find routinely I like to speak to time frames and charts that a lot of technical analysts don't speak to, because I'm trying to sort of find my niche and provide value-added commentary within the market. And so one of the things that I noted in looking at the 12-hour chart was I began to ask the question, what other time frames could I look at with price data, recognizing there's been downside that might suggest we could see a significant turnaround in the market. And so one of the things I did note, you can look at the tweet or post at your leisure, but basically the crux of what I was saying is that once we get a golden cross in the 6-hour time frame, within the past 13 months that this has occurred, we've seen significant price action to the upside. And so one of the things that I'm theorizing based on just history is that the lowest pullback I believe we're going to have is right around here at this 200 simple moving average on the 6 hours. So if we do get a pullback, I suspect your pullback is not going to go much lower than $43,000. And in fact, I believe on the road, the other thing that it suggests to me, I believe on the road to 50, 52 plus, the greatest pullback we will have is $43,000. So to summarize what I'm saying here, if that was confusing, this golden cross is first off telling me that we should see some sort of a significant rise in price. That significant rise in price, I am hypothesizing based on the prior 4 occurrences in 13 months, it will take us north of $50,000. And secondly, if we do get a pullback, it's not going to go below the 200 simple moving average prior to seeing that $50,000 plus mark. Okay. Now I'm not saying we're going to top out at 50 or 52. I'm just saying we will hit 50 to 52 in my opinion, but before we go below 43, if we do go below 43. Okay. So that is one of the other pieces of commentary that I had in the market. And nothing else I really want to speak to here. I can update you guys on this stuff on the weekend. We're starting to take out these negative divergences on the 12-hour, which is great. So last thing, I'm going to get to Oof's question and the rest of your questions here. I had tweeted out earlier, right before the live stream, I just want you to take note of this. There are a lot of people shitting on this price movement up. And again, the sense I'm getting is when we were consolidating in that $26,000, $28,000 range, the similar thoughts that I had in terms of people saying, oh, we're just going to consolidate under $35,000 going into the halving. Again, your favorite YouTubers were saying that. It's just going to be boring price action, and the market's going to be predictable, and it's going to give you a chance to just accumulate for the next 9 months. They were saying this in the fourth quarter of 2023. You saw what happened in the market. We shot up to $49,000, right? So everyone is calling for, they have all these price targets they're waiting for Bitcoin to pull back to. And again, whether it's happening slower or not, it doesn't matter. You can compare this to many months ago. You can compare this to late 2020. It just feels and even looks very similar to those time periods. So it'll be very interesting to see if I am correct, and we do get this move up to 50 to 52 in these next handful of weeks. So something to keep an eye on. All right, let's take a look at Oof's question here. Always good to have Oof in the live stream. Always good to have everybody in the live stream. Guys, if you are new to the channel, if you're just tuning in, don't be a creep. Don't be in the background, just kind of staring at my face here and listening to me talk. Introduce yourself in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Let's see. Oh. Okay, so this is one we just looked at. Nothing new, Oof. I really don't. The MACD looks like it wants to cross up. We need the stochastic RSI also to get above 20 here. We're just starting to dip below 20. We don't really want to see that occur. Although one other observation I do have at the moment, I will point out to you on the stochastic RSI. We do have an increase. You see how we've been increasing since October for bottoms, higher lows on the stochastic RSI. So it'll be interesting to see if we're pretty close to the bottom here. So nothing too new to add. I like the RSI. I like the MACD looking like it wants to cross up. All we have to do tomorrow, is get a, this is on the 3-day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, all we need to do is have a positive close today, which we did. So based on how we open tomorrow, of course, the traditional stock market acts very differently than the crypto markets because they're opening and closing hours in traditional stock market. So it'll be interesting to see if we get that positive MACD cross tomorrow, but not too much else new to add here. Does anybody else have any other TA questions? No other TA questions? All right, quiet day. Let me see what else I can get to here. Jay, you have a question, so let's take a look at DAG because we've looked at Casper ad nauseum. We don't need to look at it again. We've charted it enough. We've talked about it enough. It's kind of dismal at 3.4 cents. Not a lot of movement there, so I really don't have a lot to. I wouldn't say dismal. It's just kind of boring. Like a lot. There are many projects right now, some of which are in my portfolio. They're just quite boring. It doesn't mean that I'm not bullish on the rate of appreciation that we can see in these assets, but whether you're talking about Digibyte, you're talking about Harmony One, you're talking about HBAR, you're talking about Alchemy Pay. I mean, these are all projects that are in my portfolio, and quite frankly, they're boring, including Casper. They're all boring. They're not doing anything, so I don't have anything new to add there. But we will take a look at DAG. I don't know what this project is. Constellation, I've heard of it for sure. I'm just not familiar with it. Let's take, okay, so we've charted this one. Best guess is we looked at a 3-day or a weekly on this. We looked at a weekly. So whenever we charted this, now this is very interesting. This is a really interesting chart. Let's kind of talk about what's happened here. Jay, great question. Really appreciate you asking this one because this is something I routinely speak to about on this channel, okay? A concept, all right? We're not going to focus on the technical indicators. Let's focus on price action. The important thing is you not only walk away understanding what's going on in the chart on this live stream, but I also want you to learn something, okay? So when we charted, red is for resistance, green's for support. So what this tells me is the last time we charted this, we were under here, okay? We could have been in the falling wedge. We could have broken out of the falling wedge. Chances are, based on me going incognito there for a while because of my surgery and all that fun stuff last year, chances are we were still in the falling wedge, okay? So this is a falling wedge. This is a bullish pattern. And typically what likes to happen when you have a break and confirmation of falling out of this bullish structure, quite often what happens is we like to come back and back test the prior area of resistance. See how it's resistance, okay? And what we do is we springboard off it as support if the chart is indeed bullish. And you can see this is textbook, guys. This is commonly what I tell you to wait for. You can see on this candlestick, this is the breakout of the pattern, this candlestick, okay? This is our confirmation candlestick. The preceding candlestick after the initial break of the pattern, that's going to be what's called our confirming candlestick. It needs to hold the movement that we want to see in price in order to validate what we believe is happening. So in this case, what I'm saying in layman's terms is this candlestick broke the pattern. We need this candlestick to confirm that it's a true break. Now, the way it confirms that it's a true break is to close above this descending resistance. We can wick into here. I don't care about price wicks because they are expressions of volatility. It's the candle body closes that matter. So you can see here on the confirming candlestick, we came down and essentially touched this line. We sprung board off of it. It's not necessarily immediate on the next candlestick. You have to be something that I commonly say in this community, something that's very challenging for the crypto community. Patient. You have to be patient, everybody. Patient. And so then what we saw very strong movement up. We broke resistance here. We can now flip it to support. And it is not surprising that we wicked all the way up into this 6 to 7 cent area. You can see there's some price confluence over here. We could have drawn another area of resistance right around here. Didn't want to clutter the chart too much. And so now what we've done is, this is very bullish, okay? Because what you have to realize is we're at the moment creating structure which is bullish in nature. We get a low, a high, a higher low, right? Let's stay in this area between roughly 4 to 6 cents. And now let's start to break up towards 11 cents, because now what you would have is 2 higher highs and 2 higher lows, okay? So everything's looking good here. I really like this chart. This looks like a good potential turnaround. I'd give this chart a 7.5 out of 10. I really like this chart, okay? I tell you guys, not routinely, I tell you with every chart that you give me, how much I like the chart or not based on market symmetry and how beautiful a depiction that the price action is. I'm not talking about the fundamentals. I'm just talking about the chart data. And the chart data on this is slightly above average to me. I'm going to give this thing a 7.5. Not quite an 8, but a 7.5 out of 10. I like it. Thank you for the question, Jay. Track, great. Non-charting specific question, but a general question, which I really appreciate and wish I got more of, to be quite honest. Track asks, do you like using the Fibonacci when charting? Just wanted to know your opinion about it. I would say short answer is yes. I do like to use it. Longer answer is it's not routine. It's not something I automatically go to. So when I chart, something I automatically do, things I automatically pull up on a chart, if you want to know, my base setting on any chart, okay, is MACD, RSI, stochastic RSI for price indicators. In terms of other indicators on the chart here, I like the 10, 20, 50, and 200 simple moving average. 10, 20, 50, and 200 simple moving average. Just a preference, okay? Some people like EMAs. That's fine. You can use exponential moving averages. Sometimes I do. And then I would say Fibonacci retracements. Let's just talk about retracements and not extensions. I use them like maybe 50% of the time. I like them. There is absolutely a reason they exist. There's a lot of price confluence in that golden pocket, golden ratio, the 0.618. So I like seeing where things retrace down to and theoretically where they could retrace back up to. I know I've done that for the trade that I'm in for Sushi Swap. I've done it for a couple different trades that I'm in. I think I did it for Jasmy as well to sort of further validate the price region I have for that initial trade. So yes, I do use it about 50% of the time. Ricky, good day. Good to see you in here, my friend. Oof. In the last bull run, almost every coin did a 10x. Do you think... Oh, man, I got an itch on my back in that hard-to-reach place. Sorry. Oh, man. Thank God for the Sharpie pen. Favorite color, by the way, green. Favorite color. Random fact. In the last bull run, almost every coin did a 10x. Do you think we'll see the same gains if BTC goes to $80,000? If your project from cycle low, okay, whatever terminology you want to use, if your project based on its all-time, its lowest price level in 2000, whether it was 2023 or 24, doesn't do at least a 10x, project should at least be doing a 10x from the bottom, to answer your question. So, and I don't even think BTC needs to go to $80,000 for that to happen. It just needs to break all-time highs. I will say if Bitcoin tops around $80,000, which certainly is a possibility, that would be very deflating. It would also imply, and maybe this is sort of more what you were going for. In generalities, this is something I've spoken to, which is the higher the blow off top in Bitcoin, the more exuberance, the more money that will flood into altcoins. So no matter what your stance is on Bitcoin, you want to see Bitcoin break $100,000. If Bitcoin falls short, if we have a blow off top, which is certainly possible, and not enough people talk about this in my opinion, but if you have a blow off top in Bitcoin that is south of $100,000 at $93,000, there's not going to be as much exuberance within the market. If there's not as much exuberance within the market, and I'm telling you the chart tells you everything, and human emotion is in there, well, what that applies is there's not as much FOMO exhibited within the chart. There also isn't as much money made, and also because there isn't as much FOMO and exuberance, there's not as much money coming in to the altcoins in the market. Okay, so we really want, ideally, and I think it's realistic. Okay, there's a lot of price targets out there that I think are unrealistic for Bitcoin. You really want to see Bitcoin get up to the price levels I've spoken to, around the 120 to 130. If Bitcoin can manage to start breaking really up towards past the 100,000 into the 120, 130 range, you're going to see a lot of exuberance come into the market. Ricky, can I hear your opinion on Thorchain, please? I mean, I can chart it for you if you'd like me to chart it. I don't have an opinion because I'm not familiar with the fundamentals, my friend. The thing you have to understand, guys, and there could be a project you call me out on and ask me, well, what's your opinion on this? And then you could say, and I'm not saying by the way you're saying this, Ricky, how are you not familiar with that project? Guys, there are 5 million projects out there. It's impossible to be familiar with all of them. Do you realize I have a full-time job, right? So, God forbid if I had a wife and kids, I don't know how the hell I'd be able to spend this much time doing this. But I have a full-time job, so it's a near impossibility for me at this point to be that familiar with too many projects. I sort of hone in where I hone in, and that's what I know. Well, I love the chart setup here, so long as we hold this ascending line, because to me this looks like, I mean, it's a little messy, but still, you could paint this a couple different ways. But I like just basically that we had a huge run up in price and we're just sort of consolidating. Okay, if this chart was a little cleaner without the price wicks, I think you get something that's a little bit more straightforward. You'd be able to digest, but it's essentially a bull pennant is what I see. And I'm fucking loving this MACD curling up. Stochastic RSI looks good, and the RSI looks good. So it's a good chart setup, I will say that. Kevin, do you use linear or log for what exactly? Linear or log? Well, I mean, I'm on a log. I use log pricing charts for everything. I use, let me see, for MACDs. I mean, you can turn these things into log indicators. Some of them, I think, like for Bitcoin, for the price indicators, I just use straight up linear for the most part. But for price data, I always use log. Using linear charts for these things wouldn't make any sense. Good question, though. Haven't been asked that before. Matthew, have you looked at Digibyte recently? Yeah, it's not doing anything. I just commented on it. So it's just a project that isn't doing diddly squat. And again, that doesn't mean that Digibyte isn't going to run up to 15 cents or 20 cents or 30 or 40 cents. I'm not telling you that, but it's just boring right now. Black Oil coming in with the super chat just to tell me I am legend, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your support. I really do. I really do. Again, I'll say what I always say. Super chats are never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you, Greg, for your support. Really appreciate it, man. I hope I get to meet you in person at some point. Now, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not confusing supporters here, Black Oil, you're just a little bit north of me. Like, actually meeting up is a possibility because, or we should be able to make that work because I'm pretty sure you're like an hour north of me. I think you're in like West Palm, aren't you? In fact, I was just up in West Palm recently for a doctor's appointment related to all this stuff. Yes, you're in West Palm. Let's make that happen. We should meet up for a drink. Yeah, we got to meet up for some drinks. Like I told you before, there was only one community member I met up with who was traveling down here, and we had a hell of a time. I mean, we were just talking the shit. Very, yeah, like we were just buddies, like out of college. So yeah, would love to get together. Let's make it happen. DM me. Well, I'm not gonna go to my DMs right now. DM me and we'll get something working on that. Any other TA questions? We're almost actually up against the clock here. 30 minutes. Trying to think about anything else I can talk about. AOS, I'm in a trade here. This trade may just turn into a longer term position the more I'm reading about the project. Chlor's in massive accumulation. Waiting for this thing to break out. These are just recent ones that I've been charting and taking a look at. CAS is perfectly sort of triple topping at 13 cents. Now, the thing I want to tell you about CASPA is this candlestick, this bull pennant is painted on a 3-day. So we're going to have a new candlestick open tomorrow on CASPA. Now remember, this is the candlestick that is initiating the potential breakout. This is without question a breakout of this pennant, okay, in structure. There's no doubt in my mind. But what confirms it? If you were listening to me earlier, we need a confirming candlestick. The thing that's going to confirm this pattern is the Friday, Saturday, Sunday price action. We could possibly get a lot of volatility that comes in here and we come all the way back down to 10 cents and then wick back up and close here by Sunday. That's fine. But right now, the other thing that I like to see is we touch 13, we touch 13, we touch 13. Ever since we closed below it here, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. And you guys know the more we hit an area of price confluence, the more it weakens, whether we're talking about the upside or downside, right? So I love to see 3 touches on this 13 cents because while it tells me it's a key area of resistance, it also tells me that area of resistance is getting weaker, okay, with this 3rd touch. So I would love to see by next week, CASPA essentially doing something like this. I would love to see a breakout and be going towards 15.5 cents by next week, because if this is truly a strong move within this chart, then I lean towards seeing CASPA breaking up towards 15.5 cents by next week, if this really is the move that I think it is. Again, I'm the one who boldly came out here. I've made 2 very bold calls on CASPA. I said it would break into the top 20 to 25 by the end of 2023 in the 4th quarter. It did that. Okay, we hit 25 or 24. I forget what the position it was. So we did that. The second bold call that I made on CASPA, beyond any price predictions, okay, where I think it's going to go, which ultimately I think it's going to go $2 to $4 is my sweet spot. The other bold prediction that I made towards the end of last year was about, I don't know when it was. You can fact check me. It was September or October. I said that CASPA would be at $1 by the 1st quarter of 2024. Now, that's based on my expectations both of CASPA and of the market in general when Bitcoin will be topping. Maybe I'll be incorrect and it hits $1 by April or May, but I'm still sticking to my $1 first quarter call. So we still have like 7 weeks to go. We'll see. I am using TradingView, Pal. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. My apologies. Let me get to the Kata chart here. Oof has a question on Kata. Did we look at this one before? We didn't? Interesting. Okay, so we're on MEXC here with ticker symbol KATA. This is Casta. Did I mess that up? There we go. What the hell happened there? Katana. Yeah, I know we looked at this one. Katana. I know we looked at this. Okay, we didn't look at it. What the hell is going on? Why does it keep going to Casta instead of... Why does it keep fucking doing that? Or am I screwing something up? All right, let's take a look at this. I'm really struggling with life right now. Now, I know we've looked at this chart before. I know we have, but yet I don't have anything drawn here, so maybe I'm incorrect. Okay. I like the symmetry here in terms of being able to easily digest where to draw areas of price confluence. I will say that. In terms of the market structure, at first when I look at this, what strikes me is there is a lot of symmetry here. I do like this chart. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10 again. So we have a nice rounding bottom and an explosive move up. We have another rounding bottom and an explosive move up. And now it looks like we want to get another rounding bottom here. This is on the 3-day. Now, the next time we come up to this price level in here, okay, the 0.16 cent area, I think we are going to break right through that. In terms of areas of support, yep, right there. We got this 0.0009 area. We've got, yeah, I really like the structure in this chart. By the way, I do see the question on Syscoin, Matthew. I'm not going to have time for that today, trying to keep this to 30 to 35 minutes. So just make sure that you come back to ask that question, either if we have time on Sunday or Monday, but definitely Tuesday. I'll take TA questions. But I am familiar with the project, by the way. I mean, that is an old school coin. I don't own any. I mean, these are your major areas of support. I could continue to go lower, but if it's as bullish as I think it is, I shouldn't have to. Now, something you could also do, if you wanted to, once these things start to go parabolic, though, these lines, they're not going to get back tested until we have a major correction in the market, which we're closer to than a lot of people think, but further away than most think. We certainly could come down. I mean, this certainly is a possibility. That is a possibility, but if we are as bullish in the market as I believe we are right now, I don't know that you're going to get that opportunity. If I was expressing, what do we see on the price indicators? MACD still has some work to do. You know, if I was looking for a buy entry, I never give you financial advice here. I'm just telling you what I personally would do. You know, I'd look right in this area here. Yeah, right in there. Because remember, we can actually wick below this this gray line and still hold it as support if we do go that low. You know, you could get some sort of a retracement, some sort of a volatility wick, and then a sharp rise up, and then just continue going up. The market likes to fake people out. That's why you have to be diligent, have some buy limit orders, and just go with it. Same with your sell limit orders. You know, put them in place, and once you do the education and research to determine them, don't change it based on your emotion. It's the worst decision you can make. That's what I see in the chart, though, nothing else really to say besides that. I mean, we're getting some consolidation here. You could get a bit of a falling wedge, for sure. Yeah, definitely a possibility you could see some sort of... I've seen these sorts of moves where, you know, you get this huge rise in price. You got this pattern here that does play out, temporarily fakes everyone out, comes back tests the pattern, and then springboards up. But just, yeah, just one thought based on, you know, other related charts I've seen. Rory, I'm not sure what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome, brother. All right, guys. That's going to do it for the live stream. I wanted to say thank you very much for the engagement as always. That was shitty. Thank you very much for the engagement as always. Thank you for the questions. You guys are the reason that I continue to come back here. So keep an eye on the lookout on Sunday if we do get the interesting weekly close that I am heavily believing we're going to get on Bitcoin should we maintain these price levels. We're going to take a look at some weekly close and ask ourselves the question, you know, where's price action at and how are things setting up and why do I believe this? It's not my emotional opinion. It's what the data is telling us. keep an eye on that for Sunday. Tomorrow, again, maybe I'll be here for this live stream. Maybe I won't. If I'm not, there's a high probability I'll be here for the CBG podcast, where we will be talking about the economy and interest rates and all sorts of fun things. But I'll keep it stupid simple as always. So until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Take care, everyone.